finger? Hell yeah.
Class is in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC Guy, and TradeFly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Piper Academy. I'm your host, Army Piper. We got a great show lined up for you today. We've got Bitcoin right now fighting to hold $70,000. Ethereum sitting just below $3,500. Gold hitting a new all-time high. And two giveaways today. That's right. We're giving away some stuff. All this and more right here today on Piper Academy, guys. Let's get it. Classes in session. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. I'm your host, Army Piper. This is a show where we come at you every Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit, guys. We're having some technical difficulties in the background, but it's not going to show on the front end. We're going to have a great show today. We got a lot of news to go over. Hopefully here in a little while, we get Ernest Lee from Decrypted.tax dropping in. He's going to answer some questions for the community on taxes. And then also we got a big giveaway today, but I'm not alone right now. I do have one of my co-hosts. That is TradeFly. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? You're muted. You are muted, my friend.
Here I go again.
Not more technical difficulties on this end.
I was adjusting everything in the background, so I put the mute button on. That's my bad.
That's all right.
Yeah, hey, I'm in the closet and no technical difficulties, so I'm ready to do this. Let's party, man. Got some cool things to look at on the chart today. So
it's Friday. It's Friday, bro. Friday. Yeah, we got OC trying to get in right now also, and Ernest is going to be coming in a little bit late. But we've got some news. Let's go ahead and get into the news. We're going to talk about that. We're going to look at the fear and greed and where everything's at. We do have some economic data today, and then we'll see where we are at that point, and we're just going to play it by ear. But guys, today, at the end of the show, right before we go off air, we're going to be doing two giveaways. One is for Chart Prime, a free month of Chart Prime right there, which includes about 28 free classes with OC Guy, live one-on-one training. Well, it's like 1-on-20 training, but hey, still. Plus, you also get all of the powerful indicators Chart Prime. And then also, what are we giving away, TradeFly? What are we giving away?
We are going to give away 50 USD worth of render.
That's right. That's right. Giving out some render, man.
I'm going to tell you why. Well,
it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
Let me give some shout outs to the people in the chat, man. Crypto Pollo, C90FT, W for the win, Trade Intuition, Alexander G. We got Jay, Bit2, Window, Crypto Billy. What's up, my guy? The GOAT. And then Jay's in the chat, ZTS, your boy, Lunar Beaches Crypto. He's part of the fam here, bro. Koshi, No Dinero, Eric Wallen, as always, Bacon Munch. I've been seeing you a lot, my man. Arson246 every day, holding it down, and that is it. But I just want to give everybody a quick shout out. What's up?
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and get into the news, man, and let's talk about what's going on over there. Guys, today's daily news brought to you by Decrypted.tax. Ernest is going to be coming on here in just a few minutes, and we're going to talk about some tax stuff because tax season's quickly coming. So today's news brought to you always by Decrypted.tax. Let's jump in here and take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, sitting at 79 currently right now at extreme greed. Crypto bubbles on the daily. We got a lot of red. There's like a sea of red going on there. There is a couple of little greens. We got some BNB in there that's green. V-Chain Vet, we talked about this yesterday. It's green on the daily still. Tron, looks like KuCoin is up there. Not much though. BTT, that is the old, I can't even remember the name of it, but how you used to rip movies and stuff. That's what that is. It's sitting there about 5.5. And then what else do we got? IOTA, CFX, not much. Pepe up a very, very slight bit. Let's jump down here and take a look and see on the market cap. Bitcoin down 0.7% for the daily right now. Ethereum down 2% for the daily. Both of them still sitting pretty decent for the week, though. Bitcoin up 5.4%, Ethereum up 7.2%. A lot of Bitcoin news today, though. We're going to be taking a look at all that. BNB's up 1.7%. Any other big movers to the upside. Kronos is up 3%. That's a shocker. But as far as downside, it looks like Dogwoof Hat's down 9.7%. It's just kind of a stagnant day. BitTensor, guys, down 20.9% after its run that it had yesterday, taking a nice sharp pullback. Let's jump over to the liquidations, see how those are looking here. Liquidations in the past 24 hours, 68,869 traders were liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at 145.9 million. We'll just call it 146. At that point, what's $100,000? Largest single liquidation order happened on OKX. It was Ethereum USD swap valued at $7.1 million. So if you got $7.1 million to lose and get liquidated on a trade, why not? Let's jump over and check out the economic calendar. This is what's going on today, guys. We did have export and import prices that came in this morning. Both of them came in the realm of expectations. Import prices a little bit higher. But the one that I am looking at here right now that did not come in too great, or that we're waiting to come in, and I don't think it's going to come in too great, is the Michigan consumer sentiment. What this is, if you jump over here, this is the University of Michigan consumer sentiment for the U.S. It was revised higher to 79.4 in March. That would be last month, from a preliminary high of 7.5. The gauge is the expectations of how people feel about the economy in general. So, kind of a big deal. That's why it is red on here, and that's going to be coming in sometime midway through the show here. I see Ernest trying to come in, but I don't see his camera yet. We'll get him ready to come on screen here in a minute. But that is what I got there for the news for right now. Let's go ahead and jump over here back to TradeFly, and let's bring up my boy. So TradeFly, what do you think? Michigan, Michigan consumer sentiment. Are we going to be coming in a little hot there today, or what do you think?
Dude, to be honest with you, I have no idea what they're going to come in as, but I will say the general trend right now, the numbers have not been ideal. So I'm going to roll with that sentiment at least. But hey, do want to say chat was saying BitTorrent was what you were looking for there.
BitTorrent, that's the word. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. BitTorrent, yes. That is that token. I used to follow. I used to track it because when I first got into crypto, I was like, BitTorrent. I used to rip a lot of movies on BitTorrent, and I realized it was there was a crypto for it. So hey, what do you know?
Somebody in there, I think it was Bit Into Window, said he made lots of money on that one.
I've heard that too.
Congrats,
We're going to go ahead and drop this over because we still don't have OC in, but I want to go ahead and bring up Ernest. We're going to jump over to Trio Cam. And I'm going to get him set up on there. While I do that, TradeFly, let's jump on over to your chart and give us a breakdown of what we're seeing on Bitcoin while I get him set up there.
All right, let's do it. All right, looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hour. And so we talked about the volume area high, volume area low. We found a range, right? And it kind of lines up with those two areas. And guess what? We came right up there again. And it looks like we're getting a little bit of a rejection. If you're coming down and looking at the prime oscillator, though, it does look like it's still trending up. So it's still retesting. All hope is not lost here that there might be an opportunity to push up through that area, even though it looks a little negative right now in terms of the overall market today. We are respecting the dynamic reactor. You saw down, we had a beautiful bounce off the dynamic reactor, and we still haven't gotten on the bottom side of that. So, they're, as of right now, short term, you're just looking at it, you can see kind of this support level that's trending up and right, putting more and more pressure on that area of resistance. So there's still an opportunity to come up and retest that all-time high again. What I would be interested to see is when we actually come up there is what we're looking at between the two peaks. So when we have the all-time high, and then if we come up and we actually retest again, I would like to see what the prime oscillator is doing on a larger time frame, such as the daily or the weekly. And that would probably give us a little bit of an indication if we're coming into that area with strength or if we're looking at another rejection. So keep an eye on that. The other thing I'm looking at, and we were talking about it pre-show, is the Heikin-Ashi. Let me actually zoom out on this a little bit here, make it a little bit bigger for everyone to see. But it's a similar looking pattern to me. Everything is not the same, so let's get that out of the way. Percentage wise, and the actual move itself is not all the same. But what I'm looking at, right? You have this nice run up, nice little pullback, cool off, and then we run up again, and then you start seeing this like back and forth between the colors. You see You see how it's flip-flopping back and forth. You get into consolidation up here, hits the all-time high, and then big old dumpsies. This one's a little bit more clean, though. When we actually had this all-time high here in November, run up, pull back, goes back up, you start flashing different colors again, and dumpsy. So now I'm not saying that's going to happen. All right, let's just be clear. But run up, pull back, flashing back and forth between the colors again, because Heikinashi will give you a nice indication of a reversal of trend. It's to me, like, I guess what I'm picking up pattern recognition wise is a little bit of weakness because it's flashing back and forth on the weekly on the Heikinashi. So, just keep an eye out on that. I would say, if you guys are in this area right here, like in the range, if you're trading the range, all good. But I would probably keep a stop loss underneath of that right now, just personally, because it's kind of what I'm seeing on the chart. Now, it's not going to align with everything else. I just want to, for awareness, we'll say, put that out there for you guys to keep an eye on, monitor it. But yeah, just a couple quick things on Bitcoin. That's what I'm looking at personally. And hopefully our man is ready to go, but I see a duo.
He is. Yeah, we got a lot of news. We're going to be breaking that down right after this interview, but I got a special guest on today. Let's go ahead and bring him up here. Ernest, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. For you guys that don't know, Ernest, right over there, decrypted.tax there on the, it's always on the screen there. He's the man, the myth, the legend, and the brain behind all of that. He is well, actually, Ernest, go ahead and tell the people what you do and why you're different than TurboTax.
Sure thing. So I'm a tax attorney and an accountant, and I previously worked for Deloitte & Touche doing international tax and tax planning for big private equity. And I started Decrypted Tax in 2020 during that bull run. I had another tax practice that did taxes for people in rodeo, oddly enough. And a lot of those clients had crypto holdings. And I just did a deep dive in 2020 and spun it off into a separate practice. And so we have about 500 clients now in Decrypted Tax. And we do taxes for people who have exposure to digital assets, but we also have a crypto tracker. So similar to your CoinLedger or Coinly, we track the crypto. We have targeted advice that we give throughout the year, moves you can make on based on your particular portfolio, and so we give that information out to clients, and we're full service tax preparation. So as opposed to some of the others that are either one or the other, we do both.
Yeah, I'm pulling this up right now, just so I can show people the actual website here. There we go. Let's jump over there. You guys can see here that we've got his decrypted.tax website up, and you can see right here what he's talking about. Import your wallets and exchanges here. Consolidate all your digital assets in one location for easy tax form generation and all that. So they offer a lot of different services beyond just doing taxes. But Ernest does my taxes, and hopefully this morning I will know how much I owe and how much I have left to rotate back into some markets. So I know that the people might have some questions here, but I've got one for you that a lot of people don't understand. You were talking yesterday to me when we were going over my taxes that when you do some, if you have losses and you claim some losses, that sometimes, I know I've always heard of it as a $3,000 cap annual, but you said there are other ways to maximize that. Can you give a little insight on like how that works and what that is?
So let's say you had $40,000 in gains from selling early in the year, and then later in the year you lost a lot of that back. You use those losses within a particular tax year to offset each other, and so we'll offset gains with the losses, but you can do that year over year. So the $3,000 cap that a lot of people talk about is a cap against using those losses, short-term losses, against ordinary income. And so you can use up to $3,000 per year to offset your ordinary income, your W-2 income, or whatever, or interest income, or whatever you have. But those carry over every year. So if in 2020 you lost $100,000, and then in you lost another $60,000, and then 2020, you fast forward to this year and you made $400,000. You can use that 160 from before to offset this year's earnings.
Got it. So I used to do all of my taxes on TurboTax, and you asked me to send you over my my previous tax years. What are some common mistakes that you see a lot in the space and for people doing taxes that are into crypto that you may have seen on some of my stuff? I know that you said you don't hold it against me because what you saw was someone who didn't know what they were doing. So what are some other common mistakes that people may not understand that they're making when it comes to crypto tax?
So the most common mistake, I won't speak to your tax return, but most common mistake that I see is you can use different accounting methods for your taxes. So you can have last in, first out, or specific identification. So you can specifically identify tax lots that you sold when you sell crypto. So if for instance you've been in crypto for the last 10 years, if you're that lucky, and you have a lot of Bitcoin that you bought early on in 2012, and you keep buying, you're DCAing all the way along, and you've bought and sold, but you bought a bunch of Bitcoin this year. Let's say you bought it at $40,000, or you bought it last year when it was at $25,000. But you don't necessarily have to do first in, first out, or last in, first out. You can specifically identify those tax lots that have the highest basis. So it's kind of like a highest in, first out, and say, when I sold Bitcoin this year, and let's say you sold some Bitcoin because you wanted to buy a car or whatever. When you sold that Bitcoin, you can say that Bitcoin that I sold was the highest basis Bitcoin that I had, and therefore I only had $10,000 worth of capital gain on that Bitcoin.
Okay. We had one other question, and then I had a round out question for you, but someone in the community here asked, I was at Crux Crypto, he said, can you explain to the viewers and the alumni here what actually triggers a taxable event and what does not trigger a taxable event when it comes to crypto?
Yes, I can. So right now, according to the current IRS guidance, a taxable event is triggered even when you trade crypto for anything. So if you trade crypto for crypto, it's a property transaction. Some people think, well, I never took anything out of the exchange, and therefore I don't have a taxable gain. Well, that's not true. If you have Bitcoin and you sell Bitcoin and you buy Ethereum and you sell Ethereum, you buy Dogecoin, you've got taxable events at each one of those points. But even if you have Bitcoin and you trade it directly for Ethereum, you have a taxable event. That the amount that you receive for the Bitcoin during the first sale is the fair market value of the Ethereum that you receive when you receive it. And then your tax basis in that Ethereum is that fair market value number, so that if it goes up in value or down in value, you realize a taxable event on the second sale.
Okay. So basically, as long as you keep it in the asset that it's in, you can move it to your cold storage, and that's not a taxable event. But if I decided, Bitcoin dominance is really taking off here, I'm going to move some of this Ethereum over to Bitcoin, and then later on I'll swap it back. That would trigger a taxable event each time it got swapped.
That is correct.
Okay. And then C90 FTW, one of our alumni here, he said, so once you identify first in, first out, because you were just talking about that, or last in, last out, do you have to report that the same way every year after, or how does that work?
Not necessarily. We can do a change of accounting method, but primarily, if you were to say, okay, I'm not reporting last in, first out, I'm reporting specific identification. You can, like I said, you can identify specific tax lots of what you're selling, and then we can use that highest in, first out, for instance, as your accounting method, which would mean you're selling the Bitcoin that you have, or the crypto of any sort that you have, that it has the highest tax basis.
Okay, perfect. And then last question here from the community. It says, does staking and mining count as ordinary income, or is that capital gains?
It's ordinary income. So staking and mining is treated the same way as interest income. So if you have a passbook savings account, I forgive you, but that's your decision. But you have a passbook savings account and you're only earning 0.75% interest. That's 0.75% interest is ordinary income, the same way as if you're staking your digital assets and you're earning income on it. That's a ordinary income.
Okay, we got actually a lot of questions that just came in. Another question now is, if I keep a futures leverage trade open for over a year, is that considered long-term capital gains on all of that leveraged gains, or is it short-term? How does that work? If you kept a leveraged trade, you paid the fees, and you held it for a year. So like say someone got crazy and decided, I'm going to do a Bitcoin long at 2x for this entire bull run and maximize, and you held it for over a year. Is that long-term or short-term on a leverage trade?
That's a long-term capital gain. So you've entered into an investment contract. The investment contract didn't have a cash event until more than 1 year. And I just had to think about that on the fly because I hadn't thought about that before, because I don't know anybody that's entered into a leverage trade for more than a year. But if they did, that's a long-term capital gain.
Okay, well, there you go. There you go, French toaster. There's a question. I'm going to let you round it out here at the end, Ernest. Can you, unless TradeFly or OC, do either one of you guys have a tax question for Ernest?
No, man. I was just in the midst of doing my taxes, so I spent a whopping 12 hours doing my taxes on TurboTax, and I was going through the nonsense of finding the cost basis for all of the staking when I converted the CSV file. It was probably one of the worst experiences ever. So, Ernest, we will talk definitely next year for sure.
All this year, because that's something that we regularly, that's something we do all day, every day, and there, even if you're thinking about it, doing it next year, give us a call. We do a free consultation. Won't cost you anything. There's no obligation. And if during that call I see that there's a room, if, for instance, a client has made a decision on its prior year tax return that we can capitalize on and do an amended return to get you some money back, we're happy to do that as well.
Right, that was actually part of the question that I was going to ask. I know we're really close in on April 15th. It's pretty much at this point, sink or swim if you got it done already, because you guys are pretty much filled up on your schedule. But what services can you still help someone with? And you just answered one of them. We can take a look at it, do a little quick snapshot and see if there was anything you missed and where you may have paid too much or, maybe made a no mistake. So is there anything else that you can do with people this year besides planning for next year? So
yes, there is. So there are moves that you can make during the year, throughout the year, that we regularly give clients advice on. Tax loss harvesting is something that a lot of people talk about. They talk about harvesting tax losses in December, which our tracking software identifies that, and we'll send you an email letting you know that you got tax losses that you could harvest against ordinary income. But then also, tax gain harvesting. A lot of people don't focus on that. But if your tax situation is such, let's say you're married filing jointly, you have up to 80,000, and change every year that you can realize with a 0% capital gains. And so if you imagine that you've got $80,000 per year and you're one of those people that just DCAs forever, you can step up your basis in your digital assets by $80,000 every year by selling and realizing those capital gains, and then you get stepped up basis, and then that carries forward. So over a stretch of 5 years, you could actually realize $400,000 worth of capital gains at a 0% rate.
Oh, nice. And this is why we need Ernest Lee in our life. Guys, if you don't know, yes, you can. Someone asked the question, and I'll go ahead and clarify it here. Yes, you can carry tax losses over year. How long can those be carried out, Ernest?
Those are in, I think it's currently 15 years, but I'd have to 15? Check that.
Okay.
Be sure.
And then, so people know you are a trader. You trade. You actively trade. in crypto. You also are an attorney and an accountant. Why does that trifecta of who you are matter over, people using traditional services? What gives you the edge that makes you so much better to use for services like I have versus, the standardized accounting people out there?
The best example I can give you is is a anecdote from when I worked at Deloitte. So when I worked at Deloitte, when I would ask someone a question, they would look straight to the instructions on the tax return. And that was their answer. They'd look at the instructions. Sometimes they'd go back to the regulations, but they would work that way. I worked completely the opposite direction. I work from the U.S. Constitution first, whether the U.S. Constitution authorizes taxation of property. Then I go straight to the U.S. tax code. Then I go to the regulations. Then I go to the revenue rulings. Then I go to the instructions. And so by working that backwards, I realized I see a lot of times where the instructions don't necessarily follow the regulations, or the regulations don't necessarily follow the law. And so when I do see that, I'm able to identify opportunity, and those opportunities, you'd think that wasn't very often, but it happens all the time that there's opportunities like that. And those are defensible positions that you can take before the IRS, and you don't hear about them a lot, but they are there, and they're definitely there in crypto. We have opportunities to take positions. I'll give you. We take fairly aggressive positions on Celsius, FTX, BlockFi losses. We have defended those positions in audit, and those are things that you may not be getting the best advice for if you're just going to a tax preparer or an accountant. They do great jobs. I'm not trying to disparage anyone. It's just that they have to focus on what they focus on, and I focus on the top-down approach.
Awesome. And that's the biggest reason I went with you, because when my taxes are done at the end of the day, it's not like, well, thanks, Ernest, here's your money and I'll see you next year. I know that you're a phone call away for anything that comes up in the nasty world of the IRS, or letters or audits or anything like that. I've got representation that continues on. And that's why I wanted to have you on, because I think that you have one of the best services out there. And I wanted the community to know what all you can do for them. So we appreciate you coming on today, Ernest.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me. And certainly if anyone wants to give us a call, we still got time for doing extensions. We're doing those actively right now with anyone that comes in new, but our schedule is pretty open. We'll have a tax return prepared. If someone came in today, we'd have the tax return prepared in the next week or so. So I've got a team that regularly prepares these tax returns, and they're working pretty much around the clock right now. So we're there. You'll have a link in the description, but you'll have a 25% off discount from our full service tax preparation that you can use with that link. So give us a call. The free consultations are truly free. There is no obligation, and I get people who call me all the time and say, I just want to talk through what I'm doing. And sometimes that's tax, sometimes that's their trading. I don't give financial advice on trading, but I do give tax advice regularly over the phone during the free consultations that have absolutely no obligation on your part.
Yep. Awesome. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, there's a link down below. Always is. Decrypted.tax is the official tax partner here for the Academy, and you'll get a free consultation, 25% off, and you guys can use the same guy I use. I trust him with mine, and I will tell you, for what he's saved me, his prices are extremely reasonable. So you guys need to check him out. Ernest, we appreciate you coming on today, man, and I will actually talk to you later on today to find out where we're at with mine. So appreciate you, brother.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Oh, and Ernest is still there. I got to switch over OC because I had Ernest in here because OC finally made it on today.
He's part of it now, man. You're part of the show. I hope you can do some TA.
Ernest, welcome to the Piper Academy.
I made some money last night, but yeah.
All right, what's up, OC? How you doing, man?
No, not much. I just figured out that every single time that I have a Windows update or a whatever update, I need to clear my cache for eCamera for some reason. It's second time in a row that I've just been able to connect. Well, not in road, right? Oh, yes, in road. Third time in road, something like that. It's just been a little bit, I don't know, concerning. But yeah, doing great.
It's all right. It's all right. Let's go ahead and get into the charts. We got a lot of news to go through still. We got a half-hour show. TradeFly, I'm going to kick it over to you to do some runoff on whatever you want to take a look at, and then we're going to just squeeze in some news in the middle here, guys. This is Piper Academy. If you guys are new here and you haven't been here before, welcome to the show. If you guys get any value out of today's content, please hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Get notified every time we go live. Right now, we're getting ready to go check out some TradeFly charts. So let's go, TradeFly.
Yeah, well, not quite the charts, but we got the old liquidation heat map. You know, that's my El Special, and I know that's probably not even Spanish, but here we go. So looking at the liquidation heat map, you can see hotspot here on the top side. A lot of people are going short, and you can see there's very clear resistance, and you can actually see that on this chart. You don't even have to go over to TradingView to see it, that we are just bumping our head over and over again. It is starting to pull back a little bit, so I'm not sure that we're going to revisit this in the next day or so, but just know that this liquidity is sitting up here. However, let's go out to the 3-month, get that big old zoomed out look here. And there you go. So we've talked about this a little bit. This area down here is the hottest spot on the map, and that is about 50K. So just keep that on your radar. Again, we have open positions, or not position open, but we're waiting. We're waiting. If it comes down there, we're gonna chomp on that. So again, liquidity is building up a little bit here. You can see, but we kind of talked about that, but nothing too crazy in the near term, to be honest with you. I would say, like, if you were just looking at the liquidation heat maps, then the bias would probably be to the upside, but that's not aligning with what we're seeing on the charts right now. So these people might, right here, they might be safe for a little bit until we see some kind of bounce. But hey, look at this. I mean, just looking at the liquidation heat map, you start seeing things sometimes, and we're finding an area of support, you know, right here at about 70K, just under 70K, 69.5 or so. So we'll see. We'll see if that holds up.
Awesome. Appreciate that, man. TradeFly, OC, I mean, you got anything for us, brother, on your charts there?
Absolutely. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and what I was seeing from yesterday. And we have a couple of trend lines that yesterday was just dunging all across the board, because we were very close and constraining between this trend line that we have upcoming here. And you can see it has a little alert. And also we have this other one downcoming here, or downtrending, that we also have a little bit of an alert right there. So basically just bouncing between those two areas. And finally, almost make it a breakthrough. Is not confirmed yet, but you can see that I do have a little bit of an expectation here. So we are above the 0 line. I do need to see that we break above, or at least go find some liquidity, grab right down here at the dynamic reactor. And by the way, guys, this little triangle that we can see right here,
Ooh,
this triangle,
it's
going to be, what is it?
Look at the chat right now.
Holy cannoli. Hold on. Decrypted.tax just gifted 50 Piper Academy memberships. Let's go, guys. Holy crap. Hey, Ernest, bro, we love you and we appreciate you here on the show, man. You are always welcome to come on the Piper Academy, man.
That's so cool, man.
I can't even go through the names right now. It is absolutely insane. You know what? It's Friday, and you know what that means. Yeah. We just got 50 of these, so we need to have some music here. Let me find my music. Where's my music at? Where is my music at?
It's party time. Pretty much everyone is watching right now.
Yes, there we go. OC is not even in here right now. Where'd he go? OC left the party. Guys, all these new members, if you guys are new members, make sure that you get into the Discord. There's a lot of things that you get in there. Unfortunately, you will not get in for today's giveaway, but we have monthly giveaways. We have TA time. We have AMAs. We do all kinds of stuff, all kinds of deals. This is it, guys. It's Friday. Again, big shout out to Ernest We appreciate you, bro. 50 new members joining the community today. Let's go ahead and let's keep this going. Let's jump over and take a look at what we're seeing on some news today, guys. We've got some major news coming in today. One of them, TradeFly, give it to me. Give me the line, bro. What is it?
I love gold.
There it is, man. There it is. Let's go ahead and jump over there and let's take a look at what we're seeing there, man. But hey, shout out, big shout out to Ernest. 50 memberships just dropped for the community there. Everyone, join the Discord. Welcome to Piper Academy. Wow, that was awesome. Never had one of those. That was fantastic. Gold, cool. Guys, gold. TradeFly loves his gold. He talks about this all the time. Gold hit a record $2,400 as clouded rate cut outlook boost safe haven demand. I don't think there's much more to talk about on this article, but I want to come over here and talk about this. TradeFly. A lot of people in smart money, they've been moving and hedging over towards gold now. If you actually go back and look, I've got a little breakdown here on the Kabisi letter. And he says right here it is, this is gold discounting a collapse in real rates, okay? And this is the 10-year real rate percentage, which is bonds, versus gold. We have typically over history, going back to 2006 here, you can see they pretty much traded in sync with each other. We hit a period in 2022 where gold did its little thing, did a pullback, and then, made a higher high and continued up to its all-time high. But bonds started to drop down, and it's inverse. This is an inverted real rate, okay? Look at the separation that happened there. And he said, for the first time in decades, gold and bonds are trading in completely opposite directions. It began in 2022 when gold prices began to price in potential drops in real rates. This was largely driven by speculation that inflation would return. Now, gold is playing its role. It's the inflation. It is the inflation hedge. What about Bitcoin? Isn't Bitcoin digital gold? Is it possible that some of this pump that we've seen on Bitcoin breaking its all-time high before the halving, all that, is more than just the ETFs? Is it possible that we're also seeing some digital gold hedging? I'd love to know what you think on this, TradeFly, because you follow gold a lot. And then OC, I'd love to hear your input because you have a unique perspective on precious metals. You survived the peso collapse, and it was gold and silver that helped you guys make it through. So I'd love to hear both of your guys' take on this. Let me hear it.
Yeah, man. So one, it's very interesting to see this divergence that we've never truly seen before. So it is something to take note of. And so it's cool that we're talking about it. In terms of, store of value, this is the typical trend that we'll see when things are not good. In terms of gold, right? The precious metals, the physical assets is really when people are getting scared, with what's going on in the world economically. When they think something is going to go wrong or go bad, they then shift to like tangible physical assets. Now, the interesting thing is, and I don't know that we have seen or not seen this before, but just kind of talking out of my butt here, the stocks are at like all-time highs. If you're looking at the S&P 500, if you're looking at the NASDAQ, they're extremely high, but so is gold, which honestly, I don't think that it's a necessarily direct inverse relationship, but you kind of would see it that way that, risk on, risk off, that would be kind of that moment of like, okay, well, I've played the stock market all the way up to the top. So now maybe I'll shift to the physical assets, just kind of go back and forth with that. It's probably what smart money would usually typically do. And then also in times of like war or conflict, which I'll be honest with you, like we're trending in a very scary direction if you guys are following the news when you're looking at what's going on in the world right now. Like we're closer than ever. And I know you guys don't realize that, or some of you don't, probably some of you do, but that could be a real catalyst for people shifting over to physical assets as well. So, it's interesting, and it's a lead indicator, as a weird, kind of thing to say, but maybe it could be a sign of things to come. Maybe the economic, news that's going to come out, or maybe our economy itself could be up for a trend and the down direction here soon. So we'll see. Interested to see what OC has. That's just kind of my thoughts on it, right? You always try to take what you see on the charts or what you see and figure out why is it doing that, and what can you
Absolutely.
take away from that to say, hey, what's coming? Is this a lead indicator or is this a lagging indicator? In this case, it could be lead. We'll see.
Absolutely. OC, your input on this. And first off, do you like your little OC logo over there that I made for you?
I do. I love it. I appreciate it. Thank you
All
for
right. Yeah.
having
So
it and
what's your
designing it.
yeah, we got some other ones that were made. We're just I threw that one in there last night. But what's your input on this gold all-time high? Is Bitcoin is some of Bitcoin's pump part of that digital gold hedge also that could have been taking place? And what is your personal experience with gold? People may not know this, but you precious metals saved your booty, your whole family's booty at one point, right?
Yes, it did. By the way, I mean, we need to take a look at, first of all, I mean, the hardcore part of what's gold, right? At this point, gold, it is a physical asset, something that is not digital, and also that it is not produced or overprint, right? But there's also one part that we usually don't pay attention, which is where or how much gold there is, right? Remember, it's underground. We do have estimates based on scientific studies, but that is not something for sure. That is not something that you know exactly how much it's going to be. And if for some reason we discover a big new mine of gold, or I don't know, how do you call it? Place with a ton of gold, it just instantly needs to be taken care of, especially because of the mining industry. If you own a mining industry and you find that much gold, you're not going to be just going so public about it, because you're going to drop your own business price, right? So, I mean, we also need to understand that gold, it is manipulated, and also, I mean, but it's still stable enough that countries decided to give the gold standard to base at one point their fiduciary or their fiat money, right? So at this point, it's no longer a thing. The gold standard, hopefully we can get it back to, is is Bitcoin the new gold standard? I believe it's on its way to be, because we are basically overcoming a couple of limitations, which are transportation, security, right? And of course, knowing exactly how much it's going to be, and how much is going to be released into the wild at this point. Then the rest is just buy and sell of in market manipulation. So I do believe that we're on our way. We're still not there yet, guys. I mean, this is not financial advice, but at some point, as we did, and on my family we did, get as much gold as we could. I mean, at this point, I'm trying to replicate this learnings and grab as much Bitcoin as I can. And not financial advice, guys. That's only a personal belief. And remember that the first rule of investment, and this is not me saying it or making it up, it is diversifying, right? So remember, yesterday we were always talking about the what is the hedge against the dollar, or the day before, I believe Monday, Tuesday, and I did mention that there's not only one hedge. There's many hedges, and we talked about the Legos, right? Legos, the actual physical Legos, just being crazy, even higher than Bitcoin in the last year on price action. So that is something to take note on. So, I mean, I would say to always have a plan A, plan B, and I do advise to have a plan C. And I mean, do not desperate about jumping into something. And just to wrap it up, when I see something at all-time highs, I believe there's always something behind it, driving it. And I'm not saying something on a natural causes. I believe that this is part of a worldwide manipulation, and I think it has to do either with a new mine of gold being, I mean, produced, or fiat just plummeting so hard and media covering that up. So
Yeah.
either one of those two.
Yeah, absolutely. Over here, guys, I'm looking at a couple of things right now. One, just so you guys know, gold's up 20% in the past 40 days, and that's a pretty substantial move. A lot of that being because, again, economic data, right? If we take a look over here, though, where we go, right there, we can take a look here. No, we're going to actually look here first. We're going to take a look at the economic calendar. So, guys, economic calendar just put out the data at 8 o'clock today on the sentiment of the economy, because this is why, at the end of the day, why gold is moving. It has to do with the sentiment, U.S. sentiment about how the economy for the United States is going. It came in at 77.9%. Was supposed to be consensus and forecasted to be 79 to 79.5. It was 79.4. Now, there's some key information here that I want to break this down for you, and then we'll take a look at the last thing. The University of Michigan consumer sentiment fell to 77.9 from 79.4, which was the highest level that we had since July 2021. Preliminary estimates showed this data. So overall, consumers are reserving judgment about the economy in light of the upcoming election. That is basically what that number means, which in the view of many consumers could still have a substantial impact on the trajectory of the economy. With that being said, let's jump over here to the Kabisi letter. And he put in this little chart here last night. And he said, this is the S&P 500 seasonality from 1976 to 2023 with the median. You can see the green line here. That's the 2024 year to date, where we are from that baseline. And then you can see non-presidential election years versus presidential election years. Okay. Up and to the right, guys. That's what they do over that year time period there. You can see January through December at the bottom. He says the S&P 500's performance has been truly outstanding this year. The index is up 9% year to date, which is more than double the average year to date return in an election year. In the past, the median return during a U.S. presidential election year was 11%, and there are still several months until the presidential election, but the index is on track to significantly exceed its historical performance. Now, I've said this several times on the show here, that when we have an election year with a split House and a split Senate, once we break an all-time high, we tend to have continuations of all-time high. Let's take that mindset and put it into crypto that has a halving this year, and to the idea that what we just discussed, Bitcoin being the digital gold, and we're seeing gold do this hedging thing. We're seeing markets go higher. We've got Bitcoin set to do its halving event, which typically runs it higher. We've got ETFs and smart money, institutional money, which is pushing it higher. We have the potential of Bitcoin being digital gold, which has a sentiment to push it higher, on top of typical markets pushing higher this year. How does that play out in your guys' opinion? Quick wrap up on that. How do you think we see Bitcoin take off and just do a mind-blowing run this year, or do you think that there's so much pressure to buy gold and stocks are doing so well that Bitcoin just kind of teeters along on its halving momentum and a little bit left over from the ETF, and it's just a mediocre Bitcoin year? Mediocre, parabolic? That's pretty much the question. TradeFly, what you got?
Well, I mean, you guys know what my prediction was, right? So it couldn't be anything else but mediocre for that prediction to play out. So, yeah, man, I don't think it's going to go parabolic personally, but that's my own opinion. I think a lot of the rush to get in for the ETF, we've kind of seen that, and now it's about retail coming back in. And we've kind of talked about that a little bit as well. Like, yeah, people are starting to come back in, but it's not. It doesn't feel the same as the last all-time high. I'll be honest, because that, like, everybody and their mother was talking crypto, and this one it feels a very, very cautious, like a cautious optimism is kind of how it feels, because I think people have been through a lot in crypto. Think about retail flooded in, crypto dumped, FTX happened, exchanges went down, Voyager went down. I mean, like, all of this negative stuff, and there is a lot of like internet fraud, going on. People are getting phished. Like, I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff going on. So it's a cautious optimism. I think eventually, people will feel more comfortable. But I don't see the parabolic run yet.
Okay. OC, your thoughts?
I want to start from the other side. I mean, at this point, let's just figure out how much money there is to be spent, right? I mean, at this point, Bitcoin is just a joke, to be honest. I mean, it's just a toy. It's not nothing serious in the crypto world. If we compare it to Forex, compare it to stocks, I mean, come on. That seriously, Bitcoin is not something that serious at this point. But a door has opened, and it's for this money to be able to come into Bitcoin, which is the ETF. So I don't think that that gold and Bitcoin are going to be competing themselves. Somebody just mentioned that gold and Bitcoin are in the same team. I do believe the same thing. They both are a good hedge. They both, as I mentioned before, they are kind of like tied to different rules, and that's discovery and knowing. But I believe that we're going to be seeing a little bit more money flowing from institutions to Bitcoin in this long run. And after the halving event, I will give it maybe 2 months. And if we start with a big pump, I will hold myself and still hold strong with my 500K Bitcoin, maybe an extended cycle. I don't know if we're going to get there, but I absolutely think that it's going to be parabolic.
Nice. I tend to lean towards that also. I think we're going to see an amazing run, especially when I see articles like this right here, guys. Hong Kong listed Bitcoin ETFs could unlock up to $25 billion in demand. Crypto firm says Singapore-based Matrixport expects mainland China investors to move billions into potential Hong Kong listed spot Bitcoin ETFs through Stock Connect program. That's just an additional $25 billion potential moving in there to Bitcoin. So yeah, absolutely think that we could see something like that. We're going to go over and do the giveaway real fast because we have 2 giveaways to do today. And then we'll see if we have any more time to maybe do one pick each for some quick TA, guys. Let's go ahead and jump over here. This is our monthly giveaway. This is for members, and shout out to Crux of Crypto. He's in there at the Piper Academy. He said anybody that wanted to get, that's in the chat right now, if you wanted to get a membership and you didn't get one of those gracious and amazing giveaway memberships there that Ernest dropped in there, DM Crux on the Discord, and he will give you a free month of our Discord access over there. So if you didn't get one and you want one and you're in the chat right now, go hit them up and you can get a free membership for a month. Check it out, what it's all about behind that membership wall there in the Piper Academy Discord there. So let's jump in though, guys. We got all the names on here. If you guys want to see them, all the names are on here. If you are a cum laude member, you get 1 entry. If you're a Magna, you get 2. If you're Summa, you have 3 on here. Everyone's names are on here. Crux ran this list several times last night. I confirmed and checked it all. So the first one here is going to be for a free month of Chart Prime. Along with that, you get access to the Chart Prime Discord. And on top of that, you get Alex O Crypto and OC Guy doing about, 28 classes a week. How many classes a week? I mean, is it
8 classes a week?
It's 10 or 9?
8.
8. It's 8. So 8 times 4, 28. So 28 classes a month is what you're going to get over there for free. These are free live classes with Alexo and OC Guy on top of this amazing indicator suite of Chart Prime. So we're going to go ahead and spin this wheel and we'll see who's going to get that free month of Chart Prime. If you are the winner, hit us up in the Discord and we will get you your access. So here we go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
So Click the Great giving 5 memberships.
Almost there. Oh,
Crypto Pollo. Cluck. Crypto Pollo just picked up.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Yes. And then also, we just had 5 memberships gifted by Alex O Crypto. So shout out to Alex O Crypto.
5 from Click the Great.
And we also just got 5 memberships donated to the group by Clayt the Great. So shout out to both of you guys, amazing people. You guys, I'm honored to have you guys here on the show. But Crypto Pollo, congratulations. You picked up a free month of Chart Prime indicators along with all those free classes. Hit us up and we will get you that access and get you rolling, man. Congratulations to you. Now, we have one more giveaway. We're not done. We are not done.
What a
and we're
day.
going to leave.
What a day.
What a
The
day,
people that
right? I'm
tuned in
telling you,
today.
man.
Holy
It's
moly.
amazing.
Like, we're giving away so much. Ernest, Alex O, Clay the Great. Like, dude, givers gain. This is an amazing, show today. Like, it's just cool. I'm
love
having
it.
fun watching everybody get something out of it. This is
I
cool.
am too, man. This is great. I love this. So here we go. This is for $50 in render. This will be sent over wallet to wallet. So you need to make sure that you have a place from me to send this to, whether it be cold storage, whether it be Coinbase, I don't care, whatever. You will have to hit me up in the Discord. We'll do a DM and we'll get all that set up. But here we go. This is for $50 in render for the monthly giveaway right here in Piper Academy. Here we go. Let's get it. Let's get this thing here. Let's go ahead and hit the drum roll. It looks like Mr. J.
Nice.
Jay is the winner of $50
Nice.
in render. So there we go, guys. That is our giveaway today. Looks like we have about 5 minutes. So you get about a 2-minute rapid fire TA, TradeFly, whatever you want. I'm going to pass it over to you. Here we go.
All right, cool. Looking at Sol real quick on the
Soul
4-hour
train.
chart. Woo, woo. All right, looking at that. All right, so bad news. Lower highs and lower lows, and we are under the dynamic reactor. We even came up for a little retest, and now it's coming back down. Good news, might be finding support here at the 382 at about 165, and it also has another line here that I've identified. And I'm going to go back and see why that is since I'm doing it live. I got distracted with all the giveaways. I was getting excited, but my guess is coming back left on the chart. Yeah, you can see a little bit in this area. That's more of a range, but you can see support and resistance sitting over there in that range. So that's probably why I had that identified. And let's kind of zoom out a little bit. And actually, it was previously support as well right here. You can see that wick. So this could be an opportunity. It is pulling back here. It could be an opportunity for you to add to your bags. But what we'd like to see here is the RSI or the prime oscillator to start kind of bending back up. But hey, here you go. Keep an eye on this area. I'd say at about 162 to 165 could be an opportunity. So again, you know how I like to play the game. I like to let it come to me. So just kind of hang out, wait, see how things play out on the chart here. But that's what I'd be looking for on Sol, somewhere between 162, 165.
Sweet. Matter of fact, speaking of Soul, I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna do something real fast before we pass this over to OC for his thing. Because we had so much today, I'm gonna do a $50 in Soul giveaway also.
Oh,
Why
here we
not?
go. Ding.
Oh, Dave Digital.
Hey.
Dave Digital, you got $50 in Solana, man. Hit me up on the Discord also. We will get that over for you. Zach, put that on the list also. Dave Digital, $50 in Solana. Guys, we're going to be doing giveaways again next month. Every month we do giveaways here on the show. So, OC, let's kick it over to you. You get to wrap it out for us, bro.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at it here. So very quick on BNB. This is one of the coins that I hate, but I do hold and I do trade because my hate doesn't tie to my willing to earn money. So here we go. Prepare for the spaghetti. This is my analysis. Basically, I do see some supporting here. We're pushing upwards into the middle line right here, median line of this pattern up racing triangle. And we only had this resistance that basically is getting us a little bit of hate in here and not letting us go through. So be very careful. I'm also above the zero line, so waiting for maybe that retest, that flip of the ribbon at the zero line, and that will be my entry if we don't lose the center of this triangle. So as you can see, we can either break, retest, and off we go, or by the way, because this was yesterday's analysis, I will rather go with a fake out than retest, and if we hold and we are above the zero line on the oscillator, a breakthrough to the upside. So looking bullish, despite we are on a strong sell, and that's because we haven't had a confirmed higher high from the previous one. So far so good. I'm gonna just also push it very quick to Adam. Adam, getting to my next entry point for DCA, very, very close to it. As you can see, we have this little wick in here, and we already have formed a bearish day, a bearish order blocking here, and we have a trend line coming down. We are pretty bearish, and we are almost right there, close to the 10, so at 9, very close to break this range. So I do believe and I do expect that we're going to be having this pullback, as you can see right here. Let's just update it. There you go on timing, and that's what I believe, that we're going to be seeing a little bullish divergence with a higher volume, or sorry, high momentum, lower grabbing liquidity right down here, and then pushing over. That's what I got on BNB and Atom.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man. TradeFly, OC, what you got for the people?
Hey, today was awesome. I enjoyed it, and definitely learned some stuff from Ernest. Yeah, today was super cool. And I learned something today. As I'm just messing with stuff in the background, I didn't realize you could pop out the chat and get rid of the video. So that was nice. It opened up a lot of real estate for me. So
There you go.
today's been a good day. It's a good way to start
Always
the weekend,
learning, man. The day you stop learning is the day you stop living. I'm just saying. That's why I'm always trying to learn something new. OC, what you got, brother?
Guys, thanks so much for joining today. Excuse me for being a little bit late. I had just technical issues, but remember to click that like button, because let me give you something that happens when you click that like button. You will have 1 in 13,989,815 chances to win the lottery. So every time you hit that like button, your percentage of winning the lottery will go down.
Awesome. If you guys were one of the 3 winners today, Crypto Pollo with Chart Prime, we got Mr. J winning $50 in render, and we got Dave Digital winning $50 in Solana. Hit me up in the Discord. We're going to get that all straightened out for you guys. Congratulations to all of today's winners. Thanks for joining us today on Piper Academy. If you want a chance to earn some Caspa, to win some free Caspa, go check out the link down below for Lunar Beaches Crypto and go check him out. He's going to be doing a giveaway for Caspa according to what he said in the chat. So go check that out also, guys. We appreciate you guys being here today on Piper Academy. Let's go ahead, bring it out here. We'll catch you guys Monday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, giving you guys the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. If you're in the Discord community as a member, be watching this weekend. I'll be doing a weekend session with you guys on some TA. To be announced on the time, I'm not sure yet. And then also tomorrow morning, I will be on live with T-Shroom on the Investing Bros. We'll catch you all then. Until next time, guys, trade safe. And as always, use a freaking stop loss. Jesus, come on.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. TradeFly, get the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have, step fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels flow low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.